digital and on 88 and 91 FM. On BBC Radio 2.
And that was Mike Oldfield and Maggie Riley, Moonlight Shadow from 1983. Hello, folks. I'm Paul O'Grady. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Well, it's happened. December's here. And we know what that brings, don't we? More adverts for discount sofas. Anyway, coming up this afternoon, we've got the Northern Soul and the All-Star Triples. We've got another Lost TV theme and not a peep from that awful, terrible, squeaky, nasty, irritating song, It's a Small World. Anyway, I can assure you. So let's get underway with this, shall we? Big Girls Don't Cry. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, Big Girls Don't Cry. How did they get the voices so high? What sort of operation did they have in their teenage years? I can't do it, forget it. I can't do it. And in case you're interested, the Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, well, their story is told each night in Jersey Boys at the Prince Edward Theatre in London to packed houses, I hear. And they're all up like maniacs at the end of the show, dancing in the aisle. It's a fabulous show, I believe. Maybe I'll get out one day. The warden will allow me out for an evening and I'll be able to go and see it. Anyway, time now for your messages. Thank you very much for sending them in. Please keep them coming. You can write to me by post and the address is Paul O'Grady at BBC Radio 2, London W1A1AA. Or you can email me anytime you like, paulogrady at bbc.co.uk. And remember, even though we may not be able to include everything on the programme, we really do read them all. All right, then who's this one? Dear Paul, I do enjoy your programme on BBC Radio on Sundays. This is very proper. Really cheers me up and I love the music you play. Would you please say get well soon to my best friend Jane? We've known each other for 51 years. We went to grammar school together in Worcester. She's not been well for the last few weeks. From one of your listeners, I'm not sure what number I am, Anne Williams from Evesham. Just better have a little look, Anne, here on my little thing. You're number 37, Anne, and thank you very much. And Jean Pitney's on the list. Another high voice there, Jean Pitney. And Jane, I hope you're feeling better, love. Do you hear? What's this? Dear Paul, I know how much you enjoy the Christmas period. I just love it. I go giddy. I know that many of your friends call you the Grinch. They do, but they don't last long. I know you won't be sending any cards this year. No, I'm not. Well, I say this... And then as it approaches, I panic, and I do. I sit there for hours filling them all in, cursing everybody as I do it, but I do fill them in. And no wrapping any presents for your family. No, I put them in a bin liner. You don't see the point. But here's the one thing I don't know. Just how did Radio 2 to convince you to present a 3-hour show on Christmas Day? I can't wait. Love you, Paul. Maureen and Yeovil. They got me in a good mood. They got me in February and asked me. I said yes, because Christmas seems so far off. No, we'll have a wonderful morning together. Seriously, I'll get you through it. Don't you worry. You stick with me. Dear Paul, it's Clarissa here. I do enjoy spending a couple of hours with you every Sunday. You have become a regular fixture for me. Thank you very much, Clarissa. I enjoy your choice of music, the stories of lost things, be they pubs or films, and the long-forgotten TV theme of the week. It's a perfect mix. Thank you. It's also fun to hear about your pets, Olga, Bullseye, Elsie and Malcolm. Malcolm's not a pet, he's the producer. I have just one complaint. Oh, here we go. There's always one, isn't there, Malcolm? These chocolates you give away each week, surely they must be off by now. Is it right to be flogging out-of-date chocolates to the general public? The unsuspecting general public? Clarissa, every Saturday night I'm in my kitchen sweating over a red-hot arga, hand-rolling these chocolates on me thigh, like they're doing with cigars. Yes, only it's chocolates. That's why they're a strange sausage shape, but they taste lovely, I can assure you. And Health and Safety, I've examined them, and when they came out of hospital, they said they were perfectly fit for public consumption. All right, let's have a song now for Mary in Chesterfield, whose late husband Graham used to sing this song to her, badly, she says. Well, Mary, at least he tried. Here's Mr. Frankie Vaughan, Last Night in the Back Porch.
There's a girl I'm wild about. Every time I take her out, I hug her, I squeeze her, I tease her so. And we always can be found when there's no one else around. Do we cuddle? Do we pet? You ain't heard nothing yet. Oh, I love her in the morning and I love her at night. I love her, yes I love her when the stars are shining bright. I love her in the springtime and I love her in the fall. But last night on the back porch, I loved her best of all. Every time that she's alone, when I call her on the phone, afraid that I might see someone there in place of me. If I lost her, what a blow. I love her, oh, oh, oh. Oh, yes, I love her in the morning, and I love her at night. The first time that I met her, it was true love at first sight. I love her in the springtime, and I love her in the fall. But last night, on the back porch, and later in the parlor, in a taxi, I love her best of all.
The late, great Frankie Vaughan there with Last Night on the Back Porch. I hope you enjoyed that, Mary. And did it bring up happy memories? That was from 1961. He was a nice bloke, Frankie Vaughan. Well, later on tonight on Radio 2, you can tune into a special programme marking the 100th birthday of the band leader, Edmundo Ross. And the show is presented by Claire Teal, who's going to be featuring music and interviews with the great man, famous for bringing Latin American music to Britain. And that's with Claire Teal, and that's on tonight from 10 o'clock here on Radio 2. All right, should we have something funky now? Yeah, Malcolm, do you fancy a little dance? Cheer us up on these dark, bleak nights? Well, here's a former 3 Degree. And this is for anyone who's on tablets. Yes, it's Sheila Ferguson and New Kind of Medicine.
I need a new cat. I need a new cat. I need a new cat. A medicine. One don't hurt so much, ain't so damn tough. It makes me feel good all over. Something, baby, about your love don't work for me. And I've been thinking how bad your loving makes me feel. Turning me around and round, back and forth and up and down. Always thought you'd be good for me, but lately it's killing me. And I need someone to fill me with sweet ecstasy. And I need someone who can take me high and set me free. Leaving me alone at night, you never want to sacrifice. Now I know you're no good for me. Now I gotta find a remedy. I need a new cat, a medicine. I need a new cat, a medicine. I need a new cat, a medicine. One don't hurt so much, ain't so damn tough. It makes me feel good all over. Tell me, baby, how could things change so soon? I gave you everything, nothing was too good for you. Love should feel like a warm healing deep inside. But I feel I'm slowly dying. I'm sitting alone crying. And I need someone to fill me with sweet ecstasy. And I need someone who can take me high and set me free. Leaving me alone at night, 'cause you never want to sacrifice. Now I know you're no good for me. I've got to find a remedy.
Sheila Ferguson there, one of the 3 degrees with a new kind of medicine. All right, let's have some more of your messages and please keep them coming in. Now, this one is new. We've never had this before. This is a lost photo. Yeah, as I finished. Was that a camera, that, Malcolm? It was an Instamatic. We've moved on now. We have them in the back of phones and things. Right, we'll have a little cough. Oh, excuse me. That's because I've ate that hamburger and drunk that Coke. Sorry about that, listeners. I'm writing to you on behalf of my mother. She is now 79 and for some reason has no photograph of her own father. His name was Bert Molyneux and he was married to Margaret and they lived in Victoria Street in Elton in Bury in Lancashire. Now, he was in the Lancashire Fusiliers until he was demobbed after being wounded at Dunkirk. He later remarried to a lady called Irene Drinkwater and continued to live in Bury. Now, he worked at Webb's Forge and Sam Kay's and he drank around the area of Bolton Road in Bury. My mother would dearly love a photo to show her children and her grandchildren. It does not have to be an individual one. Perhaps part of a group photo will be enough for her. So should any of your listeners be able to help both my mother and myself, we would be extremely grateful. Thank you from her children. So if anybody out there, any of my listeners, if you can help, please get in touch. We're looking for a photo of Bert Molyneux for his daughter. There you go. All right, then, let's see what we can do. Hopefully someone's got one, Malcolm, somewhere. Must have known old Bert Molyneux going round Bolton Road in Bury, in and out the ale-houses. Lovely man. Dear Paul, I think your show is great and I really enjoy listening to it with my 5 dogs, usually while cleaning the kitchen. We are listening to you in Poland in a little... I tell you something. I seriously do tell you something. One day I'll crack. Someday I'll land in a nut house. Anyway, we're listening to you in Poland in a little village called... Oh, I've got to try and pronounce this. No Rasibori, near Warsaw. I know that's not the pronunciation because I went to a place called Common Pomorski and it wasn't written anything like that. Oh, I've been around, Malcolm, me. I've been all over Poland. I'd really love to hear you say the name. I've just said it. No Rasibori. Please, could you do it? And me and my neighbours will be waiting with a bottle of champagne to celebrate. Give my love to Olga and any other quadrupeds you share your life with. I know my life wouldn't be the same without them. Whether you read out my message or not, thank you for making Sunday evening something to look forward to. And that's love from Dorota Litzbinska. It's not my day today, is it? And that's a lovely lady from Warsaw. Thank you very much for tuning in, Dorota. Dear Paul, I couldn't be further from your target audience, but I so enjoy your joyful mix of music and messages on a Sunday evening. You absolutely take the gloom out of Sunday nights. Is this the wind-up? Since I have only a dead-end, dreary and demeaning job to which to look forward to tomorrow. Oh, dear. Malcolm's just said like me. I read your lips, Malcolm, through the glass. So thank you, Paul. Long may you live and prosper. I think she's a Star Trek fan. And that's from Jane Clark. Thanks for that, Jane. Well, according to the BBC audience research, my target audience, and I'm quoting, is anything with a pulse. Draw your own conclusions. So let's have a record. Now, this next one is from the soundtrack of Viva Elvis, and it's the Cirque du Soleil show, which uses reinterpretations, we should put big words in for me, Malcolm, of the King's biggest hits. So this, we're told, is Elvis, as we've never heard him before. Bring it on, that's what I say. Here's the King with That's All Right.
Just a few weeks ago, a young man from Memphis, Tennessee recorded a song on the Sun label, and in just a matter of a few weeks, that record has skyrocketed right up the charts. He's only 19 years old. He has a new, distinctive style. Hit it!
Papa done told me to, son, that guy you fooling, wish he had
That's all right, Elvis Presley, and it's from a show called Viva Elvis, which is one of those dance and acrobat shows in Las Vegas by Cirque du Soleil. In fact, they seem to be on everywhere in Las Vegas, I recall. I wanted to go and see, sort of one of these lounge lizards like Dino, in the big room, and everywhere I went was Cirque du Soleil. I've got nothing to say on it, because I'd only get into trouble. But I didn't like Las Vegas. And somebody proudly said, look, we've got an Eiffel Tower. I said, if I want to see that, mate, I'll jump on the Eurostar from Ashford and go and see the real McCoy. Not stagger over to the Nevada deserts. Anyway, after 6, it's payback time, because that's when you can use me. I don't mind, really. And you can use me to say thank you to someone who's done something extra special for you. So if you'd like to take part in a future programme, now is a great time to get in touch and let me know who you'd like to thank. You can email me, paulogrady@bbc.co.uk, or you can write to me at BBC Radio 2, London, W1A 1AA. Should we have some messages? No? OK, we won't have any messages. We'll have the Northern Cell Triple instead. And this week, it's been requested by Nicky Brown in Brighton. Keep the faith, Nicky!
All you have to do is ask God, give until there's nothing left now.
And that was this week's Northern Soul Triple. We had Do I Love You? Indeed I Do, Frank Wilson. Live It Up, Dusty Springfield. And Suspicion, the originals. And thanks for nominating your triple, Nikki. And if you want me to play your favourite Northern Soul songs, then you just visit my show page at bbc.co.uk/Radio 2 and click on the form. It's a doddle, absolute doddle. Or you can drop me a line if you like at Radio 2. And don't forget the All-Star Triple will be here after 6. Time now for some of your messages. Let me have a look. Dear Paul, I wish you'd do a daily radio show, preferably in the early morning. Are you sick? The early morning? I tell you, I'll do an impersonation of me doing a breakfast show. Good morning. Get up, your head'll go flat and get to work. It's 6:30. And then there'd be a thud as me head hit the desk and I went back to sleep. I know it'd mean getting up in the middle of the night. No, it wouldn't. It'd mean me staying up. But it would be worth it, and I'm sure you'd attract lots of happy listeners. It'll never happen, love. Keep on with the dead pets bit. I've no pets now myself. I did have 4 cats, but they've all gone to that great big casserie in the sky. I now content my longing for a pet by pet sitting. Great show, and that's from Karen and Leicester. Well, thanks for the sentiment, Karen, but it's never going to happen. I did a year on the Big Breakfast, and that was getting up at 3:30, and that was like jet lag. No, you've upset me now mentioning that. Paul, I have a question for you. You know when Jodie stands in for you? Yes, she stood in for me in the past. Does that mean you have to put on a frock and play the Lady of the Lake in Spamalot when Jodie has a day off? No, that's from Rachel and Lewisham. I would if I was asked, but nobody's asked. So I'll wait now. I'll await the call to go somewhere, and I don't even know the song. Oh, Dead Pet Malcolm, send misery guts in. I can't even look at it today. Oh, please. Dear Paul, would you please mention our dear little cat Mitzi in your dead pet slot? It was a week after her 14th birthday, and we had to put her to sleep. She had kidney cancer. Her brother Max is missing her terribly, as we are. The house is so quiet now, as she was the most verbal cat I've ever known. Mitzi was much loved. We had to go on holiday the following week and leave Max on his own. So please thank our friends Hazel, Marion and Ken for looking after him. And that's from Pam, from the Mumbles in Swansea. Oh, I'm sorry. And I hope Max is getting over it. Shocking when you say it. I had a goose once, you know. And the fox got his missus. Malcolm, don't titter. You've never seen a goose. He used to go and stand by the hedge with his head down. Honestly, he was bereft. And then I got him another goose, which I mistakenly thought was a female, and it wasn't, and it was a male, and they fought like 2 gladiators. So I had to get rid of the male, and then I got a female, and then, oh, well, it's just a nightmare. I couldn't get out the car because they'd attacked me. The Gestapo, they were called. They were so vicious. Anyway, here's a song now for Stephen and Sandra in Birmingham, who listen every week in their conservatory. Oh, how frightfully posh. Sitting there. I hope it's warm. They're normally freezing this time of year, conservatories. Have you got those special blinds and one of those heaters in the middle of the room? Anyway, it's Northern Lights, Renaissance.
Destination not to found, return to see the northern lights behind the wind. Horizons seem to beckon me, learn how to ride to young, so now I live to say. The northern lights are in my mind, they guide me back to you. Horizons seem to beckon me, learn voice that comforts me in morning dreams. I take your hand, you walk with me. The northern lights are in my mind. They guide me back to you. Listen close till I get home again. I look for you and find you there. Destination homeward now. Take the easy way, bring me down. Making the hard way now I see. Hard to be really free. I'm missing you near me. Marking the space between the days. Early hours pass away. Sing to you of northern lights. Sing for you of northern nights. The northern lights are in my mind. They guide me back to you. The northern lights are in my eyes. They guide me back to you.
And that was Northern Lights Renaissance from 1978. Do you know, I'd love to see the Northern Lights. I don't mean the Blackpool Illuminations. I've seen them millions of times. But you know, the Aurora thingy-bob. Yeah, I would. So if anybody out there knows where I'm... No, because I ain't trekking across this other side of the world to sit there and see nothing. So I'd like you please to tell me the best place to see them. Don't say Birkenhead, because there's a different kind of lighting we have up there. And now it's time for today's Lost TV theme. Now, today, it's an American sitcom from the late 1970s. Now, this show received 10 Emmy Award nominations, including 3 for Outstanding Comedy Series. And the series featured the misadventures of the staff of a struggling fictional radio station in Ohio. And it starred Lonnie Anderson as Jennifer, the station's gorgeous blonde receptionist. I've never heard of it. Have you guessed it out there, anyone? It's called WKRP in Cincinnati. This must have been on during Paul O'Grady, the Wilderness Years, because I don't recall it. Anyway, it's been requested by Pauline MacDonald in Glasgow. I hope you enjoy it, Pauline. Here's the theme from WKRP in Cincinnati.
Baby, if you've ever wondered whatever became of me, I'm living on the air in Cincinnati, WKRP. Got kind of tired of packing and unpacking, town to town, up and down the dial. Maybe you and me were never meant to be. Just maybe think of me once in a while. I'm at WKRP in Cincinnati.
Nah, the theme from WKRP in Cincinnati. Pass me by that, Malcolm. Never saw it, never heard of it. But never mind, millions of you have out there, and if you'd like to hear your favourite Lost TV theme, then please let me know. And if we can find it, we'll play it. I'm still looking for Tanko. I've had no luck. No. It's such a nice theme. I can't understand why it was never recorded on an LP or a CD or a tape or anything. Don't understand it. Right, time now for some of your messages. Dear Paul, I wonder if it would be possible to say hello and happy birthday to Grace Brett, who celebrated her 100th birthday a few weeks back. She lives in Roxburghshire and loves listening to your programme, and that's from Mr. B. Thompson in Warminster. Grace, happy belated birthday. You are officially my 39th listener and my oldest as well, sweetheart. 100. Congratulations. Here's to the next 10. Lost property, Malcolm. Do we have a jingle? Oh, we would have, wouldn't we? Ask a daft question. Is that it? And what's that? That's a hotel. That's a bed and breakfast or a boarding house. Boarding house, half of the one boarding up. Anyway, dear Paul, a few weeks back, after staying over at a friend's for a party, we boarded the 11:06 train from Maidenhead to Paddington. This sounds like an Agatha Christie. On the seat, we found a camera, which we took with us when we left the train at Paddington. We fully intended to hand it in to Lost Property, but when we eventually found the designated place on platform 12, we were unable to leave it there. Anyway, we phoned the next day to let the Lost Property Service know we'd found the camera, and should anyone call up to please contact us so we could return it to them. However, that's not how the system works. Surprise, surprise, as a friend of mine is wont to say. So we now find ourselves in possession of someone else's camera, a camera we don't... Pass us that axe, will you, Elsie? No, the large one, not the small one. Thank you. No. Just wipe it and give it to me, Elsie. Yes, that's right, I'm on the verge. Yes, you've got it, Elsie. No, I won't take a tablet. I'm quite fine, I'm doing a radio show. Anyway, we now found ourselves in a possession of someone else's camera, a camera we don't want, but which looks like someone's treasured possession, and we would dearly love to return it to them. Please mention this on your show. And that's from Alison and Paul Marcroft in Crystal Palace. You are a pair of decent citizens, aren't you, going to all this trouble over a camera? Now look, if you've lost a camera, be specific. I want to know the name and the make, and I also want to know what the photographs inside the camera are of, because we'll have it developed and check, because you're not getting out for out on this show. And if it is your camera, then we will reunite you with it. Yes? OK. I'll get the axe in a minute. I'll tell you when I play a record, I'm going in with an axe. Thank you. Just hold it. You're a big, strong mouse. It's not heavy. Dear Dead Pet. No, it's not you, Elsie. You're still very much alive, sweetheart. Dear Paul, we have lost 2 cats. There's Elsie out the door, called Beamish and Fluffy. She doesn't mean lost, Elsie. She doesn't mean they've gone out of the house and gone missing. She means lost, as in gone to that great cat litter tray in the sky. Anyway, these 2 cats are called Beamish and Fluffy. Beamish was 14 and Fluffy was 12. We've still got 2 other cats, Krusty and Blackie, and 2 dogs, Holly and Scooby. Beamish and Fluffy will both be sadly missed by the whole family, and a mention on your show would be lovely. Please play us a nice record to cheer us up. And that's from Jacqueline Heron in Bury. Jacqueline, I'm very sorry about the loss of Beamish and Fluffy, but the next record is for you. Although knowing Malcolm, it'll be something completely inappropriate. Now hand me that axe, Elsie, will you, while we play this record. That's right. Go on then, Malcolm, I'm coming through.
I've covered every little highway, and I've been climbing every hill. Oh, I've been looking high, and I've been looking low, looking for my Shanghai Lil. Stars that hang high over Shanghai bring back the memory of a thrill. Oh, I've been looking high and I've been looking low, looking for my Shanghai Lil. I learned to love her. The little devil was just a butterfly, but you discover something on the level shining in her eye. I've been trying to forget her, but what's the use? I never will. I've been looking high and I've been looking low till I find my Shanghai Lil.
I miss you very much a long time. I think that you know love me still.
I've been looking high and I've been looking low, looking for you, Shanghai Lil.
I think you go with other sweethearts, and very many tears I spill.
Looking high and looking low, looking for you, Shanghai Lil.
I got new lover.
You little devil, you're just a butterfly.
I like new lover.
You're still on the level, you can't get this right.
I pray to Buddha in the child's house, and Buddha he bring back my bill. He's been trying to forget her, but what's the use? He never will.
I've been looking high and I've been looking low till I find my Shanghai
Oh, Shanghai Lil by a group called Shanghai Jazz. Do you know, I came across that CD in a hotel lobby in Cambodia. It's the truth, honestly, I'm not winding it up. Isn't it amazing what you find? I love it. I wonder if you ever found Shanghai Lil. And who was Shanghai Lil? And where did she go? Let's have some of your emails, shall we? What's this? Oh, this is a lost friend, which of course we have the obligatory jingle for. Yes. There you go. Dear Paul, I wonder if you can help me get back in touch with my old pal Doreen. Her last name was McGrath, nee Jones, and she had two daughters, Margaret and Jane. I used to babysit for the girls when they lived round the corner from us in Frodsham in Cheshire during the mid-80s. I last saw her after she had moved to Timperley and I'd gone to university. Doreen was a good friend and I often think of her and the girls and I wonder how they are and what they're doing now. I would dearly love to get back in touch. Many thanks, Paul. And that's from Jill Caldwell. So, Doreen McGrath, nee Jones, with your two daughters, Margaret and Jane. If you're out there, can you get in touch with us? And we'll try and put you in touch with Jill Caldwell, who is your very good friend. Time now for some quickies. A big hello to Neil Dolan, who is driving to work for another hard week. Sasha loves you, and she lives for your weekends together. Bevy, who lives near Bristol, he loves you, Bevy, and wants you to know that you are his rock. Happy belated birthday to Ann Taylor's dad, Les. I hope you had a nice day, Les and Ann. And how did the risotto turn out? It was nothing like the one time I made a risotto. Luckily, you could have mixed concrete with it. Hello to Barbara Prothero. Did you have a great birthday with your daughter Sharon in Oxford? Belated birthday greetings to Brenda Candler, who lives in Denton, Manchester. I hope you had a lovely day, Brenda. And finally for now, thanks to Brian for the envelope with the toenail clippings in it. You shouldn't have. No, really, Brian, you shouldn't have. I no longer practice the dark arts. I don't require toenail clippings. All right, to take us to the 6 o'clock news, here's today's high-energy offering. It takes a few seconds to get the beat going, but then once it's up, you can't stop. I mean, you really can't. You'll be wailing like a dervish. It's Eurasia with Oh L'Amour. Don't go anywhere, folks. I shall be back with you after 6 o'clock. I'm Paul O'Grady, and this is BBC Radio 2. I'm online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 6 o'clock, this is Tom Sanders. There have been calls for tighter vetting of common staff after an MP's parliamentary researcher was arrested on suspicion of being a Russian spy. Katya Satuleveta, who worked for the Portsmouth MP Mike Hancock, now faces deportation. Mr Hancock says he had seen no evidence that she was a threat to the UK. The National Union of Students has criticised a scheme to help the poorest students, saying it'll have limited impact. The government says students eligible for free school meals won't have to pay tuition fees for up to 2 years. MPs will vote this week on whether to increase fees up to a maximum of £9,000. The Deputy Prime Minister, Nick Clegg, is backing the rise. His chief political adviser, Norman Lamb, said Mr Clegg was now trying to persuade his MPs to do the same.
We have our processes to go through. The party will be meeting. Nick has been very keen to try to get consensus within the parliamentary party. That's a reasonable position for the leader to take. He wants to get everybody on side. He wants to get everybody supporting a policy which he argues, and I argue, is absolutely in accordance with Liberal Democrat values, which will increase access to university for those from the poorest backgrounds.
About 30 students who've been occupying a lecture theatre at the University of Sheffield since Tuesday are refusing to end their protest about tuition fees. The university authorities have won a High Court injunction to remove the students from the building. They say the lecture hall is needed for exams tomorrow. Police in southern Italy have arrested a man after a car ploughed into a group of cyclists, killing 8 of them. Officers said the Moroccan driver had been overtaking at speed when the accident happened. He tested positive for marijuana. A German woman has been killed by a shark in the Egyptian resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. The 70-year-old had been snorkelling in shallow waters when she was attacked. 4 people have been bitten within the past week by sharks in the area, and the authorities had banned swimming there. But they'd lifted the restrictions after capturing 2 sharks. A diving instructor in Sharm el-Sheikh, Piers Corley, said shark attacks were very rare and suggested it could be linked to recent illegal dumping.
A freighter dumped some dead sheep carcasses over the side. We assumed to sort of prevent an investigation by health authorities, and a number of these dead animals were washed up on the beaches. Obviously, the Egyptian authorities are investigating this very, very vigorously. It may well be there's just been a prevalence of meat in the water that's attracted more sharks than we would normally have at this time of year.
And some homeowners in England and Wales could be able to build extensions in future without needing planning permission. The government's put forward plans to allow neighbourhoods to decide whether to exclude such improvements from the planning process. Quick look at the weather forecast. There'll be some snow in Scotland and Northern Ireland overnight with a risk of icy roads, particularly in northern Britain. So take care. BBC News, 3 minutes past 6 and more at 7.
BBC Radio 2.
And Bobby Pryor's here. How's it looking on the roads, Bobby?
Tom, thank you. Well, first of all, to the road closures that are still in place because of the snow, although things generally did improve today, we've still got problems. So the A939 closed between the A93, Bartat and Coolgarth. Also, it's closed eastbound at Talmintoll, between Talmintoll and the A944, and that's because of the drifting snow on the eastbound side. Westbound, you can just about squeeze through with care. We've also got the A941 closed because of the snow between Dufftown and the A97 at Rhiney. The A595, this is in Cumbria, still closed between Cockermouth, the A594 and the A591. There was an accident just near Temuta. There is a diversion. The problem with the diversion route, which is via the A591 and the A596, that's extremely icy. Now, the road won't reopen before 9:30 tonight. The Kirkstone Pass, the A592, still closed between Troutbeck and Hartsop. Also west of Consett, the A689 is closed between Moorhead and Alston. We've also got problems if you're heading on to the A171, Robin Hood's Bay Road. Now, that's been closed both ways, extremely icy and an accident. So this is between Flyingthorpe and Stationdale. So closed both directions, give it a miss. Snake Pass, the A57, still closed between Glossop and the Ladybower Reservoir. And we've also got problems in Leeds on the A64. Now, it's been closed following an accident between the A6120 at Seacroft and Thorner Lane, and that's going to be closed for a while. Accident on the M6, southbound junctions 15 to 14, Stoke-on-Trent to Stafford North. That's now cleared, so just the end of the queues. And the A1, we did have a lane closed between Eton Soken and Buckden. That's now cleared up. And just to check on the the rail network, just be aware that although things did improve today, still many services are disrupted. There's still some cancellations, and with bad weather forecasts, the snow line is 0845 301 7641. And I'll be back for you now just after 7.
Online, on digital, and on 88 and 91 FM. On BBC Radio 2.
And travel, Paul O'Grady here, and welcome back. I forgot to say, if you're taking your warfarin,
Could believe the things you do to me. I never could believe the way you are. Every day I bless the day that you got through to me. 'Cause baby, I believe that you're the star. Everyone's a winner, baby, that's the truth. That's the truth. Making love to you is such a thrill. Everyone's a winner, baby, that's no lie. That's no lie. You never fail to satisfy. Never could explain just what was happening to me. Just one touch of you and I'm aflame. Baby, it's amazing just how wonderful it is. All the things we like to do are just the same. Everyone's a winner, baby, that's the truth. That's the truth. Making love to you is such a thrill. Everyone's a winner, baby, that's no lie. That's no lie. You never fail to satisfy. Everyone's a winner, baby, that's the truth. Making love to you is such a thrill. Everyone's a winner, baby, that's no lie. That's no lie. You never fail to satisfy. It's
welcoming you back for my final hour. That was Everyone's a Winner, hot chocolate. Ooh, do you know, I fancy one of them. I don't mean one of the group, I mean the drink, you know, hot chocolates. Like, you know, like what they have in Vienna, with a big dollop of cream on the top, great bucket full of cream. Terrible for the arteries, but wonderful for the soul, and that's what's more important. Anyway, I'm Paul O'Grady. Still to come, we've got your thank yous, we've got your messages, and we've got some cracking songs from Pink Martini and Joe McElderry. Plus, there's the All-Star Triple. I ain't got a clue again who it is. But first, a song for Rachel in New York. Malcolm, you dare play that song and I'll slap your wrist with something a lot heavier than a ruler. Here's Amanda Lear, Give a Little Home to Me, with Love Boat.
floats back to you. Soon we'll be making another run. The love boat promises something for everyone. Set a course for adventure, your mind on a new romance. Love won't hurt anymore. It's an open smile on a friendly shore. The love boat, soon we'll be making another run. The love boat promises something for everyone. Set a course for adventure, your mind on a new romance. Welcome aboard, everybody. Bienvenue, la mondo vous attend. Siete il benvenuti a questa crociera dell'amore. Wir haben viel Spaß. Das ist wunderschön. Nous sommes à bord de la première croisière de l'amour. Vous pouvez faire tout ce que vous voulez. You can do anything you want. It will be wonderful. Just be naughty, enjoy, let yourself go. The love boat. Soon we'll be making another run. The love boat promises something for everyone. Set a course for adventure, your mind on a new romance. Love won't hurt anymore. It's an open smile on a friendly shore. Amore, it's love, c'est l'amour. Welcome aboard.
Amanda Lear there banging on about something I don't know. It was called The Love Boat. There you go. Long time no hear from Amanda Lear. That rhymed, that, Malcolm. Long time no hear. I could turn that into a song, couldn't I? Well, we'll see. Time now for some of your emails. This is post 6 p.m. Okay? It says, Paul, this is not from me. Oh, okay. It's from my friend, Mr. David Gilliland of Bristol, who is a huge fan, so am I. Anyway, David wanted me to pass on a message re-Warfarin. Oh, here we go. He asked to take it too. He has links with Bristol University, and a professor there, David Winnick, apparently told him it's okay to eat grapefruit but not cranberries. Does this make sense? All the best. And that's from Hilary Keevil. Well, Hilary, although I am a doctor, I'm not qualified, really, to talk about such matters, so it's best to check with your own GP, I think, or a health advisor. Right, dear Paul, I'm writing to thank you for your programme and to let you know how much I enjoy your banter with Malcolm and us, your other listener, and me. Recently, you read out a letter from an American lady who was struggling to understand your accent and what you were talking about. Her letter immediately brought a big smile to my face, as I lived stateside for 10 years, and until I learned to use American words and pronunciations, people would often ask me to repeat myself. Such common phrases like chalk and cheese always resulted in a blank expression. On a more recent trip to America, I was asked to translate Wallace and Gromit, and that's from Robin in Fareham. Thanks for that, Robin. Listen, I don't understand Wallace and Gromit, let alone the American. Hey, come on, Wallace, you know, it's time to... I used to have an alarm clock. Some sadist bought me for Christmas. And it was Wallace, or I can't work out which is which. Anyway, it was the fella who used to be in Last of a Summer Wine for the axed it, and he used to say, hey, come on, Gromit, time to get up now, out it. But that it lasted all of 5 minutes, that clock. It was hurled with great force against the wall. I want to be woken up. It's a near-death experience for me, waking up in the morning. I like to be eased into the day gently, slither out the bed like a cobra. And I do not want, hey, come on, time for some Wensleydale cheese, Gromit, whittering behind me. Anyway, it's time now to motor up the TARDIS and set the coordinates. I haven't got an assistant. Oh, sorry, Elsie. Yes, you're my assistant. All the doctors on the telly, this doctor gets an assistant and it's a mouse. Anyway, can you guess which year we're heading back to? These are the clues. Disneyland opened in California, and you play that tune, Malcolm, and I shall choke you. Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her seat, brave lady, and Anthony Eden was the UK's Prime Minister. Do you know what the answer is? Just well, have a look on me dial here. It's 1955. And here is a hit from 1955. It's Mr. Tex Williams with Smoke, 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 That Cigarette.
Now, I'm a feller with a heart of gold, with the ways of a gentleman, I've been told, the kind of a feller that wouldn't even harm a flea. But if me and a certain character met, that guy that invented the cigarette, I'd murder that son of a gun in the first degree. Now, it ain't 'cause I don't smoke myself, and I don't reckon that they hinder your health. I've smoked them all my life, and I ain't dead yet. But nicotine slaves are all the same at a petting party or a poker game. Everything's got to stop while they smoke a cigarette. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 and if you smoke yourself to death, tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hate to make him wait. You've just got to have another cigarette. In a game of chance the other night, old Dame Fortune was doing me right. Man, the kings and queens just kept on coming around. Then I got a full and I bet it high, but my bluff didn't work on a certain guy. He just kept on raising and laying the money down. Now he'd raise me, I'd raise him. I sweated blood, you got to sink or swim. He finally called, didn't raise the bet. I said, ace is full, pal, how about you? And he said, well, I'll tell you in just a minute or two, but right now, I just got to have myself a cigarette. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 and if you smoke yourself to death, tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hate to make him wait. You've just got to have another cigarette. Now, the other night I had me a date with the cutest little gal in the 48 states, a high-bred, uptown, fancy little dame. She said she loved me, and it seemed to me that everything was about like it ought to be, so hand in hand we strolled down Lover's Lane. She was oh so far from a chunk of ice, and our smooching party was going real nice, so help me, Hannah, I think it'd have been there yet. But I gave her a kiss, a little squeeze, and she said, Tex, excuse me, please, but I've just got to have another cigarette. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 and if you smoke yourself to death, tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hate to make him wait. You've just got to have another cigarette.
Tex Williams, all the way back from 1955 with Smoke, Smoke, Smoke That Cigarette. And that's for everybody out there who's given up the fags. There you go. All right, it's time for this week's thank yous. Now, if there's someone or somewhere, come to think of it, that's done something extra special in your life, well, here's where you can show your appreciation. There's a certificate of thanks signed by me if your message is read out on the show, and there's a box of chocolates and a limited edition T-shirt for the very best letter or email of the week. So if you'd like to take part, you know what to do. You can either email me, Paul O'Grady at bbc.co.uk, or you can write to me at BBC Radio 2, London W1A 1AA. Now, this one's from Maureen, and Maureen says, Dear Paul, I have two very good friends who I would love to have mentioned on your Sunday show. I know you are an animal lover like me, and Barry and Val are the most devoted couple I know and spend all of their spare time taking great care of any wild birds that are injured, from seagulls to sparrows. Sometimes the injuries are so severe, one would think that they would never have a chance of survival, but 99% of the birds do survive. Barry and Val are wonderful people for doing this, so please thank them, Paul. And that's from Maureen Archer in Minehead. Will do, Maureen, and an official thank you is on its way to Barry and Val. And well done, Barry and Val, for all that work you're doing. Hang on, this is stuck together here. Yeah. This is from Michelle Keane, and Michelle says, I would like to thank my fantastic partner, John Judge. Before I met John, I hadn't been too lucky in love, and so it was hard at the beginning. But we have come through everything together. John's health has been poor for 8 years, but he still manages to always be there for me at any time. John has shown me what true love is, so please thank him for me. And that's from Michelle Keane in London. Am I going soft, Malcolm, or does that move me, that one? What true love is? Ooh, you only ever hear Princess Aurora say that kind of stuff, don't you? Oh, Letter of the Week. And this week, it's the Letter of the Week says, I would like to thank Shirley Carr. She has been an inspiration and a tower of strength to all of us at Cancer Research UK Oldham. Shirley has devoted 21 years of service to good causes and has raised over £1 million for charity. She's been very poorly recently and has had to spend a lot of time in hospital, but she's a fighter and has responded well to treatment. We all love Shirley to bits, and we want to say a great big thank you to our Shirley for making our shop and our lives so much better. Love from Andrew and the gang at Cancer Research UK Oldham. Andrew, thank you very much for writing. And Shirley, you're one in a million, you are, Flower. You just look after yourself. I hope you enjoy the chocolates. And Andrew, if you want to flog the T-shirt in the shop, be my guest. And Shirley, get well soon, love. And remember, let me know if there's someone or somewhere out there that you'd like to say thank you to. Email address, paulogrady@bbc.co.uk, or you can write to me at BBC Radio 2, London W1A 1AA. All right then, time for a track from the new album by my lads. Yes, 3 lads who I've known since... 4 lads since I've known since they first started. I feel like their uncle. It's McFly.
Tell me, are you feeling strong? Strong enough to love someone and make it through the hardest storm and bad weather? Will you pull me from the flames? Hold me till I feel no pain and give me shelter from the rain forever. Where can I find her? The light left me in the dark. She left me with a broken heart. Now I'm on my own. If anybody sees her, shine a light on her. Shine a light on her. Shine a light on her. If anybody sees her, tell me, can you hear my voice? Loud and clear above the noise. And even if I had the choice, I would not give up. The light left me in the dark. She left me with a broken heart. Now I'm on my own. If anybody sees her, shine a light on her. Shine a light on her. Shine a light on her. If anybody sees her, shine a light on her. Shine a light on her. Shine a light on her. If anybody sees her, the light left me in the dark. Hey, she left me with a broken heart. Hey, now I'm on my own. If anybody sees her, shine a light on her. Shine a light on her. Shine a light on her. If anybody sees her, shine a light on her. Shine a light on her. Shine a light on her.
false endings. That was McFly, Shine a Lightness, from the new album Above the Noise, which is out now. And Danny McFly, if you're listening, I couldn't get tickets to David Hay. We were going to go and see David Hay box, but I couldn't get all the tickets. And actually, you knocked him out in 3 rounds, didn't he, David? So it would have been a short night anyway. Never mind, kid, next time. All right, our All-Star Triple is on the way, but first, some of your messages. Dear Paul, my family and I live in Barrow-in-Furness, and we all love your show. We listen to it every Sunday, and my mum especially likes it because she can listen to it while she's making the Sunday dinner. If we are out and about in the car, she will put it on and have a good sing-along. That's nice to hear. I'm 12 years old, and I listen while doing my homework, and I find it extremely relaxing, so thank you, Paul. No, thank you. Please give my family a mention on it, and that's from Heidi Fair. Lovely name, Heidi Fair. Well, Heidi Fair, Miss Heidi Fair, you and your family, you can all sing along in a minute, and thanks for writing in. This says kind of a dead pet. Have it on standby. Just have her. Tell her to take her gloves off. That'll do. Dear Paul, in the late 1970s we had a budgie called Busby. Think that name was from the BT advert. I thought that was Maureen Lipman. Anyway, I told Busby to land on me when I called, and he would sit with me watching the telly. In 1979 I got married, so I had to leave Busby with my family. On one of my visits, I went over to his birdcage to say hello, but he didn't reply, so I put my hand in to get him out. The next thing I knew, he bit me, which was a bit of a shock. Immediately I knew that this imposter wasn't my Busby. Oh, Sir Cooers! The story unfolded. My mother had taken the cage outside to clean it, and she forgot to take Busby out, so when she removed the bottom, guess what, folks? He flew away. They got a replacement thinking I wouldn't notice. Well, they were fooled, weren't they? They were left with egg on their faces. The new bird was not very nice, and I can't even remember its name. Anne McBride. Oh, it's not dead then. So it's just where we didn't play it. Oh, I love budgies. We had a budgie, 22, when he died, our Joey. Honestly, he didn't have a feather on his back, and he used to sit in the corner of the cage like Quasimodo, staring at his image in a filthy mirror. Little sweetheart. I might buy myself a budgie in the new year as a treat. You'd love that, Malcolm, wouldn't you? I'd come in here with a budgie on my head. Tweet, tweet, my lovely. Like what's her face in the Live of Birds. This one's from Wendy Shortland, and Wendy says, Hi, Paul, I live in Portugal, and my mum and dad live in Barton upon Humber. I was on Skype with them the other night, and Mam was saying to me that she has you on the radio all the time and told me to tune into you. I can get you through my computer. Yes, she can. Once a week. Mam, Mona, was telling me about the Northern Soul Triple, and they bring back memories for me too, Paul. Please could you give my mum a mention? She gets down sometimes as her health is not so good, and this would really cheer her up. Thanks. And that's from Wendy. Well, Wendy, especially for your mum, Mona, this is for her. Oh, no, it's not. No, I'm going to play one later on for your mum, Mona. I've got one up my sleeve for her, a nice special one. It's time for the All-Star Triple. And you can send in your suggestions anytime you like to paulogrady@bbc.co.uk. And today's triple has been requested by Ron in Beechwood near Newport. Thanks for getting in touch, Ron. And I hope you enjoy today's All-Star Triple because it's Bonnie Tyler.
It's a heartache, nothing but a heartache. Hits you when it's too late, hits you when you're down. It's a fool's game, nothing but a fool's game. Standing in the cold rain, feeling like a clown. It's a heartache, nothing but a heartache. Love until your arms break, then he lets you down. As much as I depend
immaculate Miss Bonnie Tyler. And a big thank you to Ron Davis in Beechwood for your wonderful choice. And as always, all the details of that and all the music that I'm playing today might be available on my show page after 7. And if you'd like to see what I did during that triple, then you just visit the Triple Action Gallery at bbc.co.uk/Radio 2. OK, time for a new one. And this is the latest from Joe McElderry. It's called Someone Wake Me Up.
You're in the wrong place at the right time. You got the wrong face, but all the right lines. Now I'm all out of faith. It's all about the state of my mind.
Joe McElderry, there's Someone Wake Me Up, and that's released tomorrow, and it's from his debut album, Wide Awake. More messages now. Paul O'Grady at bbc.co.uk is how you do it. Oh, it's the lost shot, Malcolm. Go on, quick. There's your jingle. There, cheered him up now, and that has. Loving your show, Paul, and I wonder if anyone out there will remember a magic shop in central London. I used to live in Rugby, and each Christmas I'd come down to London for a magic show with my mum. As an extra special treat, we'd stop by this magic shop near Euston. Now, we're talking the mid-70s, and I still have the wand, magic cards, and metal rings I bought there with my hard-earned pocket money. It was a tiny place with shelves high on the walls and all manner of magical tricks and appliances on display. The man who ran it was also the owner, and I know he was a magician as well. I expect it's long gone now, but it truly was a magical place to visit. Keep up the great work, Paul, and that's from Tim from Nuneaton. Does anybody know the name out there? I remember someone in High Holborn. It was called the Lisdons, but it was a catalogue you got, and it was all, you know, you nail through the thumb and find the lady and all that. Do you remember that? Anybody out there remember a Lisdons catalogue? 2 and 6? I made myself sound ancient here. You wouldn't think I was only in my late 20s, would you? I bought a Beatles wig. I remember sitting in a chippy with it on. I was only a kid. And everybody looking at me, probably because I had it in a French police. But anyway, that's me. Right. Now, it's December. So we're going to have something festive now, especially for Wendy Shortland's mum, Mona, who hasn't been too well. So, Mona, let's hope this perks you up. It's this is from one of my favourite groups. It's Pink Martini, but something called the Ukrainian Bell Carol. Take it away. Ooh, very festive that was. That was the Ukrainian Bell Carol, Pink Martini. That's perfect music, that, for going down Carnaby Street in a sled, isn't it? With the snow in your face and the wind in your hair. Wonderful. OK, it's the cocktail hour now. And as we've just heard a Ukrainian Bell Carol, today we're having a black Ukrainian cocktail. Have you got your pen and paper handy? Because here's the ingredients. What you do is you pour 1 ounce of vodka, into your glass of choice. Anything, you know. Small glass, large glass, washing up bowl or bucket. We're not fussy. You add 1 ounce of coffee liqueur and another ounce of peach liqueur. Excuse me while I gag. And then you top it off with 3 ounces of your favourite cola. And should you attempt this recipe for a black Ukrainian cocktail, please remember to drink responsibly. Why do I bother saying this? Anyway, here's something I can't say. Mediceo from Carl Jarder. There you go. Quick play it so they don't realise I messed it up. enjoyed that. That was Cal Tjader with Medikiga. It's something I can't say, but it was just wonderful. Absolutely. What doesn't that conjure up a 1960s cocktail party with one of those fires in the middle of the room with like a brass funnel over it? Do you know what I mean? Sort of the Champions, you know, that type of thing with a view of the Alps outside, or an early James Bond. Yeah, I'm off again, Fantasyland. And, well, it's time now for... Well, last week we couldn't do this because you ran out of time, but this week we can. And it's time for Wish You Were There, where we whisk you away to the perfect holiday spot, your own piece of paradise virtually. So forget first class, this is pure class. Sit back, put your feet up, close your weary eyes and relax. Here's Orchestra with Letters. Composed by Mario Grigorov. That was Letters. Wasn't that lovely, eh? Have you gone sliding down the wall like a jelly? Oh, it was just lovely. Absolutely lovely. Well, it's time for me last one today, and something to perk us all up, eh, on these dark nights. Here's Maxine Nightingale. Little Love Hit Me.
Love hit me, and
Oh, far too jolly there for a Sunday evening. That was Maxine Nightingale with Love Hit Me. Well, there's Mr. Laurie Johnson with the tag theme, telling us all it's time to get in the basket with Andy, Teddy and Luby Lou and wave bye-bye this Sunday evening. Thanks for listening, folks. Please keep your emails, letters and thank yous coming in, because I love getting them, quite frankly, and also I love to hear from you. The email address is paulogrady@bbc.co.uk or by post to me, Paul O'Grady, BBC Radio 2, London, W1A 1AA. I hope you've enjoyed the music this afternoon. A big thank you to the team and to my producer, Malcolm Quince, and a huge thank you to you for your company. I'll speak next Sunday. You look after yourselves. I'm Paul O'Grady. This is BBC Radio 2. I'm online, I'm on digital, and I'm on 88 to 91 FM. Ta-da!